The life of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. In the small military cantonment town of Mo in present-day Madhya Pradesh, India, on April 14, 1891, a child was born who would one day transform the social landscape of India. This child, Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, came from the Mahad caste, considered untouchable in the rigid Hindu caste system. Born to Ramji Maloji Sakpal and Bhimabai Mirbadkar Sakpal, Bhimrao was the 14th and last child in the family. From his earliest days, he was subjected to severe social discrimination, a stark reality that would shape his life and his relentless pursuit of social justice. Bhimrao's childhood was marked by extreme hardship. The Mahad caste faced severe discrimination. They were considered impure and were treated as outcasts. This meant that basic human rights and dignity were often denied to them. In school, Bhimrao and other children from the Mahad community were made to sit separately from the upper caste students. They were not allowed to sit on the benches or desks. Instead, they had to bring their own gunny sacks to sit on the floor. Bhimrao was not allowed to drink water from the common pot. If he wanted water, someone from a higher caste had to pour it from a height so that he did not touch the pot, a practice that left a deep scar on his young mind. Despite these dehumanizing experiences, Bhimrao was determined to pursue education. His father, Ramji, understood the importance of education and was a strong advocate for learning. He encouraged Bhimrao and his other children to study hard. However, the environment at school was discouraging. The teachers were indifferent, often ignoring Bhimrao and his classmates. Yet, Bhimrao's thirst for knowledge was unquenchable. He would spend hours reading books, immersing himself in the world of knowledge and ideas. In Bhimrao's life, one figure stood out as a beacon of hope amidst the darkness of discrimination: his teacher, Krishna Keshav Ambedkar. Recognizing Bhimrao's exceptional intellect and potential, Krishna Keshav Ambedkar decided to help him. Understanding the profound impact a name change could have in reducing societal prejudice, he changed Bhimrao's surname from Sakpal to Ambedkar, giving him a new identity that would allow him to integrate better into society. This act of kindness provided Bhimrao with a sense of belonging and further fueled his determination to excel in his studies. Bhimrao's academic brilliance earned him a scholarship from the Gaikwad ruler of Baroda, Maharaja Satyagraha Gaikwad III, to study at Elphinstone High School in Bombay. This opportunity was a turning point in Bhimrao's life, opening new horizons and exposing him to a broader spectrum of knowledge. However, the move to Bombay also meant facing new challenges. The city's social fabric was just as rigid and discriminatory as his village. Finding accommodation was a significant challenge, as landlords refused to rent to an untouchable. Despite these adversities, Bhimrao excelled in his studies, completing his matriculation in 1907 and later earning a degree in economics and political science from Bombay University in 1912. Bhimrao's insatiable quest for knowledge and his desire to use education as a tool for social reform led him to pursue further studies abroad. With the continued support of Maharaja Satyagraha Gaikwad III, Bhimrao enrolled at Columbia University in New York in 1913. This period was transformative for Bhimrao. At Columbia, he was exposed to various social reform movements and the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. He earned his master's degree in 1915 and his PhD in 1927, writing his thesis on the evolution of provincial finance in British India. His academic journey did not stop there. He moved to London, where he enrolled at the London School of Economics while simultaneously pursuing the bar course at Gray's Inn to become a barrister. By 1923, he had earned a D.Sc. in economics and qualified as a barrister, making him one of the most educated Indians of his time. Bhimrao's academic achievements were remarkable, especially given the social and economic barriers he faced. Armed with knowledge and a vision for social change, Bhimrao returned to India. He started working as a legal advisor to the Maharaja of Baroda but soon realized that his qualifications could not shield him from the deeply entrenched caste discrimination. He faced severe social ostracism, which made it difficult to find housing and acceptance in society. This personal experience further solidified his resolve to fight against caste-based injustices. In 1924, Bhimrao founded the Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha Outcasts Welfare Association to promote education and socio-economic upliftment of the depressed classes. Through this organization, he worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the plight of the marginalized and to advocate for social reforms. He also started publishing newspapers like Muknayak, Leader of the Dumb, to amplify the voices of the oppressed and to push for societal change. In Bhimrao's fight against caste discrimination was the Mahad Satyagraha in 1927. In the town of Mahad in Maharashtra, the local authorities had passed a resolution allowing untouchables to draw water from the public Chavdar lake. Despite the resolution, upper caste Hindus continued to deny them access. Bhimrao led a peaceful protest, where he and thousands of his followers marched to the lake and drank water, asserting their right to equal access to public resources. This act of defiance was a turning point in the struggle for equality and marked Bhimrao as a prominent leader in the fight against caste discrimination. The Mahad Satyagraha was more than just a protest, it was a declaration of the fundamental human right to dignity and equality. Bhimrao's leadership during this movement demonstrated his commitment to nonviolent resistance and his strategic approach to social reform. The protest faced severe backlash, but it succeeded in drawing national attention to the issues of caste discrimination and untouchability. Bhimrao's efforts to secure political representation for the depressed classes led to the landmark Poona Pact in 1932. The British government, recognizing the need for special representation for the untouchables, had proposed separate electorates. This proposal was met with fierce opposition from Mahatma Gandhi, who saw it as a threat to Hindu unity. Gandhi went on a fast unto death to protest the proposal. Bhimrao, realizing the potential for violence and division, negotiated with Gandhi, resulting in the Poona Pact. The agreement provided reserved seats for the depressed classes within the Hindu electorate, ensuring their representation while maintaining a unified electorate. The Poona Pact was a compromise, but it highlighted the complex dynamics of the Indian independence movement. Bhimrao's ability to negotiate and advocate for his community's rights under immense pressure showcased his political acumen and dedication to social justice. This agreement, though contentious, was a significant step towards ensuring political representation for the marginalized. With India's independence on the horizon, Bhimrao's vision for a just and equitable society found its most significant expression in his role as the chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution. In 1947, he was appointed to this pivotal position, and he poured all his efforts into crafting a document that would guarantee fundamental rights and equality for all citizens, regardless of caste, creed, or gender. The Indian Constitution, adopted on January 26, 1950, is one of the most comprehensive and progressive in the world. It enshrines principles of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Bhimrao's deep understanding of social issues and his commitment to human rights are evident in the provisions against untouchability, discrimination, and social injustice. His efforts ensured that India embarked on its journey as a republic with a strong foundation of democratic values and social justice. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar's contributions to Indian society extend far beyond his role in drafting the Constitution. He was a visionary leader who championed the cause of the marginalized and worked tirelessly to uplift the oppressed. His advocacy for education, social reform, and political representation has left an indelible mark on India's socio-political landscape. Bhimrao's emphasis on education as a tool for empowerment continues to inspire generations. He established educational institutions, including the People's Education Society, to provide quality education to underprivileged students. His writings and speeches continue to be a source of inspiration for those fighting for social justice and equality. Throughout his life, Bhimrao faced numerous personal and professional challenges. His first wife, Ramabai, whom he married in 1906, passed away in 1935. Her death was a significant personal loss for Bhimrao, who had relied on her support and companionship. Despite his grief, he continued his work with unwavering dedication. In 1948, he married Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, who supported him in his later years. Bhimrao's health began to decline in the early 1950s due to his relentless work schedule and the stress of his responsibilities. Despite his failing health, he continued to advocate for social reform and justice. He embraced Buddhism in 1956, seeing it as a path to liberation for the oppressed. On October 14, 1956, he and thousands of his followers converted to Buddhism in a historic ceremony in Nagpur. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar's health continued to deteriorate, and he passed away on December 6, 1956, in Delhi. His death was a profound loss for the nation, but his legacy lives on. He is remembered as the chief architect of the Indian Constitution, a tireless advocate for social justice, and a beacon of hope for millions. The life of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar is a testament to the power of education, resilience, and determination. Despite facing systemic discrimination and social ostracism, he never gave up on his quest for knowledge and justice. His contributions have shaped modern India and continue to inspire movements for equality and human rights around the world. Dr. Ambedkar's story is not just about his achievements but also about his unwavering commitment to creating a more just and equitable society. His journey from a marginalized boy in a small village to one of India's most respected leaders is a beacon of hope for all who strive for a better world. Through his life and work, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar has shown that with determination, knowledge, and compassion, we can overcome any challenge and make a lasting impact on society. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar's life, detailing his struggle against discrimination, his pursuit of knowledge, and his enduring legacy as a champion of social justice and equality.